morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. Now, before the break, we were speaking about the best way to approach your workplace. And I have Roseanne here with me. Now, she's been telling us so many little tips and tricks about really making your life easier in the workplace. But let's speak about raises. And now the financial aspect is, of course, a very important part of any job, because once you do come home, you have bills to pay and things to do, and all of these things matter at the end of the month. So is it what's the best way to approach it when you think that you have done enough work and you do have all the criteria checked in the checklist when it comes to for the time to get a raise? How can you approach your employer if they don't seem to be showing any signs of giving you the raise anytime soon?
Okay, if you have an appraisal system within the workplace, performance management system, the feedback session would be the best time to approach your manager and ask the manager for a raise or an increment. But apart from that, you need to first ask yourself this question. Is it fair to ask this raise? What have I done in the past few months or years to be eligible for this raise? And what sort of a raise am I expecting? Comparison always does not help you. Now, sometimes what happens is you look at the other person and say, "Now he got a raise, maybe I can go and ask for a raise." You can, provided that you also have proved yourself in the workplace. I think that's very important, not chasing an increment for the sake of it, but also to prove yourself so that you become, you're asking something that is actually fair.
But do you find that this method of comparison is something that the theory that's very prevalent in, especially in Sri Lankan workplaces? I'm sure that you do. But what are the detrimental, aspects of this, where you just compare yourself and therefore feel justified in asking for a raise and things like that?
I think it's everywhere. I don't think it's only in Sri Lanka. We compare ourselves with other people all the time. And unfortunately, that brings a lot of dissatisfaction into our lives. What you actually need to do in a way is to define success for yourself. See, a success for another person might be different to the success that you want in life. So when you look at a person who's drawing a higher salary, you perceive that this person is more successful than you are. But success is not just centralized to work or career. Success is also about how you manage your family, how you manage your education, how you manage your hobbies. So there's an aspect that is other than work that adds to this element of success. So it's easy to give in to the temptation of comparing yourself with somebody, but I think you need to take a step back and think whether you're rational or not in doing so.
And there are so many things I'm sure that people have to modify about themselves, as you mentioned before going ahead and justifying the fact that they're asking for a raise. But what are the modifications that they can make in their behavior to maybe let the employer see that this person really does deserve this raise?
I would say stepping out of their comfort zone, especially when it's required. Also showing more organizational citizenship behavior, and this is when people go out of the way to be a part of the organization or to help somebody, and so that the employer knows that this is a valuable employee and they can't afford to lose them. So and it's also about doing that because you want to do it, not just because you want an increment, and once you get the increment you forget about your behavior. But it's about creating a workplace where you would want to come to work. It's creating a workplace that will foster growth. And I think we all have an individual responsibility in creating this work culture for us and for others.
But let's say someone has everyone has a family life as well, and there comes a point when people may be too attached to their work and they become workaholics. Again, that's a fine line that I think some people walk. But how do you balance out both those elements so that you are still you know, having a lot of loyalty to your workplace, and you seem like someone who wants to go to work all the time and do the work properly, but at the same
Yeah.
time balance the other aspects of your life as well.
If we talk about satisfaction, overall satisfaction or happiness, it comes from holistic growth. And when I say holistic growth, it means growing in all the areas in your life. So we need to keep in mind that growing just at work is not going to make you happy one day. It has to, and we all know this, because even when you look at the world, we look at nature, it's all about equilibrium, it's all about balance. I mean, if that applies to nature, we are a part of nature, it has to apply to us. So it's about consciously balancing these things, because I think it's very easy to give in to the pressures of the workplace and actually forget about the home front. So it's about a conscious effort that you put in to make this balance work.
And it really is something that I think you have to work towards. It doesn't happen naturally,
Sure.
it doesn't happen spontaneously, but it's something that you have to work towards. But okay, now going back to the subject of getting a raise, you have done all of these things and you feel